Welcome back to the channel. I got some great videos for you today. Beyond the Curve. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and don't forget to also.
The Philadelphia experiment has been a mystery for over 50 years. It revolves around the U.S. Eldridge, a U.S. Navy destroyer that supposedly vanished during an experiment in 1943. The story began with astronomer Morris Jessup, who received a letter from Carlos Miguel Allende, a former sailor. Allende claimed that the ship became invisible and teleported after being surrounded by a green fog. Allegedly, crew members died or suffered severe injuries during the experiments. The government allegedly discontinued the project after the tragic events. The U.S. Eldridge was later transferred to the Greek Navy and decommissioned in 1992.
The Philadelphia experiment, as I previously stated, locked up with the Phoenix Project, and it could only lock up on a very critical date. And that critical date was the 12th of August, 1943, and the 12th of August, 1983. Theoretically, it could have locked up in 1963, but there was no ongoing experiment at that time, such as the Phoenix Project, which was required. Dr. John Von Neumann was, of course, the second and final director of the Philadelphia experiment. He was also the first director of the Phoenix Project when it came online after the war, and it went through several phases. But the important phase of the Phoenix Project was from 1975 through 1983, when they developed the capability of time travel and the time tunnels, as Dr. Carl Sagan liked to call them, the wormholes in space. Wormholes in space and time. They had the capability and was fully functional. Someone had to know, in order to get these two experiments on either end to lock up, that there were critical dates in which it would work, and the rest of the years in between it would not work. And someone had to communicate this information to both ends. And this is the thrust of my discussion, and what happened, and why this whole thing locked up, and what some of the mechanics of, and technology of time.
That's what I'm saying. Bill sounds like crazy now, really.
Well, how the hell did it get there?
Well, how the hell should I know? I heard this crash, and the damn thing was there. Where's that son of a bitch?
Dispatch, we're gonna need some serious backup. Call the National Guard, call the Navy too. There is a World War II destroyer on the runway.
Salad. Salad. Salinger, for getting this. The phase generator is not functioning.
From hanging by his chain, click bang, feeling rage, feeling fire in my brain, feeling pain, and it's all because of flame, point clock to my brain, playing more, please fail, no glory. I used to be that kid that every day would hit a joke. I got my story to
In the 1940s, the U.S. Navy conducted a secret project known as the Philadelphia Experiment, said to be based on Einstein's theories. The goal? To make the USS Eldridge invisible to radar. But when the experiment began, things took a terrifying turn. Witnesses claimed the entire ship vanished, reappearing miles away in Norfolk, only to disappear again. When the Eldridge returned to its original location, what was found on board was chilling. Some crew members were embedded in the ship's metal, screaming in agony, while others had vanished entirely or were frozen in a trance-like state, speaking of time loops and nightmarish visions. The experiment was quickly covered up, but rumors persist that they accidentally unlocked the horrifying secrets of time travel. In the 1940s, the U.S. Navy
On the New Mexico desert, Allied scientists unleashed its stupendous power. Army cameras 6 miles away recorded the historic moment in the black of night. This was the end result of $2 billion spent on research and production, of years of feverish labor to harness atomic power ahead of the enemy. The energy that generates the heat of the sun and operates the solar system comes under the will of humankind. Luminous.
Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun.
Did you know the Manhattan Project, yes, the secret Wotu project that developed the first nuclear weapons, might have more ties to UFOs than we ever realized? Let me break it down. In 1945, as the world's top scientists were building the atomic bomb, something strange started happening. Just after the first bomb test in New Mexico, people began reporting mysterious flying objects around the area. Was it a coincidence or something else? Years later, declassified documents revealed that military officials were actually tracking these strange objects, unidentified aerial phenomena that just so happened to appear around nuclear facilities. And these sightings didn't stop. UFOs have been seen around nuclear bases for decades. Even stranger, some people believe that the nuclear tests themselves attracted attention from out there. They think the massive energy released by these bombs triggered something, as if we were suddenly on the radar of extraterrestrial civilizations.
The Montauk Project, which was an experiment carried on at Montauk Point, New York, on the southeastern tip of Long Island, that's off of metropolitan New York, was essentially two projects. It was a mind control project where they did research on how to, influence the mind of man using electromagnetics. It also evolved into a time travel project. They found out that they could actually bend time with the same equipment that they used to bend lines. This all started back in World War II. There was two major projects going on in World War II. One was the Rayco Project, and the other was the Phoenix Project. The Montauk Project.
There's a fascinating, albeit highly controversial theory that suggests Donald Trump is a time traveler, thanks to a time machine allegedly developed by the inventor Nikola Tesla. But where does this idea come from? It's based on a series of curious coincidences and connections between old books, historical events, and the Trump family itself. In 1893, a book titled The Marvelous Underground Journey of Baron Trump was published, written by lawyer and author Ingersoll Lockwood. In this book, the protagonist, Baron Trump, is a wealthy young boy who lives in a place called Castle Trump. Interestingly, Baron Trump is also the name of Donald Trump's youngest son. 3 years later, in 1896, the same author published another book titled The Last President. The story describes a very wealthy man living in New York, specifically on Fifth Avenue, the same location where the Trump Tower stands today. In the book, This man runs for president of the United States, but no one believes he will win. However, he surprises everyone and wins the election. There's a fact.
Was this the guy who gave you the formula for the time machine?
That's the man.
And what form did the formula take? Did he implant it in your mind by telepathy, or did he give you something written in English?
He spoke it to me verbally.
And you remembered this?
There's nothing to it to remember.
Will you tell me now? The
Yeah.
formula for a time machine.
F equals 1 over T.
F equals 1 over T.
F being frequency and T being time.
And this enables me to go back to the time of Caesar's armies conquering Britain.
Well, it would enable a mathematician to work this out, yes.
Was this the guy who gave...
Apparently, Nikola Tesla was a time traveler.
Nikola Tesla was a time traveler. What I'm about to reveal will change your vision of this great inventor. Apparently, Tesla was very obsessed with time travel. He worked on a time machine project. It's very probable that he succeeded because once he said, "I could see the past, the present, and the future at the same time." Tesla's assistant explains the existence of Tesla's work on time travel and the fact that he may have partially realized it. Tesla was exposed to magnetic waves that he had artificially produced, during which he found himself in a completely different space-time window, where he could see both the past, the future, and the present at the same time. The magnetic effect he was exposed to nearly killed him. After Tesla's death, the notes, which were curious by everyone, were collected by the FBI overnight and disappeared. His many revolutionary inventions were destroyed by these persons to keep them in control of the energy. For this reason, unfortunately, there is no document to confirm exactly what is stated in this article. The situations mentioned are the expressions experienced and voiced by those living near him. Tesla is one of the greatest scientists in our history, and with his death, he left many mysteries behind. Do you think Tesla was a time traveler?
But we are capable of so much more. Our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space. They leave distance annihilated, cause things to grow and improve productivity. As Vice President Vance said in a recent speech, but we are capable of so much more. Our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space.
You hear that? Manipulate time and space.
The Trump administration's science director has come out saying that American tech can, quote, manipulate time and space. That's not an accident. You don't say that as a turn of phrase. That is not a way you describe calling someone on the phone. Something doesn't quite add up as to why he's saying this. And recently, Donald Trump issued a veiled threat to China saying, she's a smart guy, we'll negotiate. Because otherwise we have weapons and no one knows. Don't believe me? Let's play these clips. My friends, I think we have more than enough ancillary evidence to suggest the U.S. has technology that is undisclosed and may meet disclosure. And it lines up with a lot of theories online researchers have, and the media calls them conspiracy theorists. But listen to this from Donald Trump first.
And we're very powerful. This country is very powerful. Let me tell you, it's far more powerful than people understand. We have weaponry that nobody has any idea what it is, and it is the most powerful weapons in the world that we have. More powerful than anybody, not even close. So nobody's going to do that. But I think that if that's what you're referring to, maybe it's not.
Not even close.
How does the government use time manipulation to control us? Well, this right here is the Gregorian calendar and how we track time today. And this guy right here is Pope Gregory the 13th. This is the guy that replaced the Julian calendar with the Gregorian calendar back in 1582. A long time ago. Can you tell me why it's 2016 in Ethiopia right now? The Europeans basically colonized all of Africa except one place. Not only were they pushing this calendar, but they were also forcing Christianity. But here in America, 2016 was like 7 years ago. 124 years ago, the Battle of Adwa took place. Ethiopia decided they did not want to get colonized and put up a fight. Basically, the Italian army versus the Ethiopian army. It wasn't even an even fight. Ethiopia whooped Italy's ass so bad that they are not even colonized still to this day. Why is there nearly an 8-year difference between our calendar and theirs? The calendar is based off of when Jesus was born. The Ethiopian calendar says 7 BC, while the Gregorian calendar says 1 AD. That's a 7-year and 8-month difference. How do we know which calendar is right? The Ethiopian calendar has 12 months with 30 days and a 13th month with 5 days, 6 days on the leap year. But how does the government control us with time? Time is a man-made concept, an illusion. It's a paradigm, a way of thinking that your consciousness could be trapped in. But that means people in Ethiopia age differently than us. We're programmed to believe that once we hit certain ages, certain things happen in our lives. Isn't it weird how we basically go to school for a third of our life, we work for the second third, and then we retire and die? When we turn 18, we're basically expected to know what we want to do for the rest of our lives. When we hit a certain age, we're expected to have a family. We hit a certain age and tell ourselves we're old and decide to stop living life. We're programmed to think that we're always running out of time. We're not taught that our thoughts literally shape our reality, so if we're always thinking we're running out of time, we're gonna look like we're aging, believe it or not. If I just found out time is fake, what else is fake in this world? The government wants us to think that we are nothing more than a physical body trapped in this plane of time. All I can say is we've been playing a game for a very long time, and you've been programmed on how to play the game. You have to wake up and think outside the box to beat it.
Did the United States government just admit to having time travel technology? Stay tuned to find out. In a jaw-dropping speech, a top United States official claimed that America has technology that can manipulate time and space. Is this real? Are we talking time travel, warp speed, or something else? Let's break it down and uncover what's really going on, because this could change everything. This wild statement came from Michael Kratsios, the director of the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy, during the Endless Frontiers Retreat in Texas on April 14, 2025. It was a big event focused on pushing American innovation to stay ahead of the world. Kratsios didn't hold back, saying the United States already has tech that can manipulate time and space and leave distance annihilated. Yes, you heard that right, distance annihilated. Here's the exact quote. Our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space. They leave distance annihilated, cause things to grow and improve productivity. He didn't spill the details, but he hinted this could revolutionize life as we know it. So, what's he talking about? Let's dig deeper. Now this sounds like science fiction, right? But it might not be as crazy as it seems. Kratsios could mean breakthroughs in quantum computing, machines so fast they make time feel irrelevant. Or maybe it's artificial intelligence that solves problems in a blink. And don't forget space. The Trump administration's obsessed with it. Back in 2019, they launched the United States Space Force, and with Elon Musk's SpaceX, they're planning to hit Mars by 2030. Could this be about shrinking distances in space? Maybe even warp speed? Hold up, this has the internet buzzing with conspiracies. One user asked, did he just say the quiet part out loud? Another tied it to Trump's cryptic April 9th comment, we have a weapon that no one has a clue what it is, the most powerful in the world. Are they hiding time machines? Warp drives? The comments are wild, and honestly, it's hard not to wonder. Let's get scientific for a second. Einstein's general relativity, way back in 1915, proved time bends with speed and gravity. Astronauts like Scott Kelly, who spent 520 days on the International Space Station at 17,500 miles per hour, actually ate—
Sure he did. Just to piss me off.
Way back in the early 80s, the Defense Intelligence Agency they had a highly classified program experimenting with time travel. And this was out at Nevada Test Site, which is now the Nevada National Security Site, where the nuclear weapons were tested years before. They built some special facilities out there to experiment in time traveling, trying to figure out how they could do that. Top scientists from all over the United States and some from the UK were there trying to perfect a method to open up the fabric of space, so to speak, in order to travel, either forward or back in time. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we had visitors, I'd like to call them, at the facility at Site Alpha. And one of the particular entities, although we couldn't fully communicate, but we were able to determine, and I don't know exactly how this happened, but the scientists were able to communicate in a way for them to explain something about how they move from one point to another in space. And then this is back in the 80s now. It's you got to understand our understanding of a lot of different things, even pertaining to physics and astronomy, was neophyte back then. It wasn't. We were just in the infant stages of understanding this. So we were able to. Our scientists were able to grasp some information that was provided by this particular visitor, and they tried to adapt that. But unfortunately, you have to understand that the visitors' technology was hundreds or maybe thousands of years more advanced than us. Plus, we couldn't understand their science, and it was difficult for them to relate their science to us. But we were able to understand that that particular entity was able to move, not so much as during time travel, but moving forward and back in time. We couldn't understand exactly how they did it, but they were able to do that. And over the years now, jumping to after I left government service, I worked for the Institute for Advanced Studies at Austin, Dr. Hal Puthoff's facility down there. And there was some research that was done regarding this particular subject of traveling the time. Most scientists understand time travel to be only back in time because that's occurred rather than forward in time where it hasn't occurred yet. But there's a strong evidence that we can do that now, even by just moving some atoms from one location to another, or a molecule of water, or the third element of water, tritium, of the molecule, from one point to another. We were able to do that, both forward and backwards. So the answer to the question, yes, ETs can do that. If one particular species of extraterrestrials can travel in that manner, probably all of them can.
By ET, he means from beyond the ice wall or inside the earth. Keep that in mind.
But then you look up and 2 hours done passed. You like, how? Another dimension? Did we enter another dimension? I can also remember one time seeing a person like glitching completely out, like frozen in time, in Walmart parking lot. This was before I was fully awake. I didn't know what the hell I was looking at. And I've seen people reporting seeing the same person twice. They pass somebody going in the entrance, and then moments later, they pass the same exact person going in the opposite direction. Kind of feels like they walked through a loop. Or the cars that seem to appear out of nowhere. Like you park, there's nobody in the spaces near you. You look down for 1 second, boom, now all the space is filled. As of lately, the energy in the store that I go to feels completely off. It looked like a damn dungeon. Very dull, everything automated. Just feel off. Think about how many people move through Walmart on a daily. That's a great place if you do want to harvest energy. Walmart is an all-you-can-eat buffet of stress, frustration, impulse buying, exhaustion. You know how many people get anxiety before they have to go in that damn store? There's a reason for that. And I already talked. But then you look up in 2 hours.
There's a creator on here, I'll tag her down below, that believes that there are portals at Walmart. And as far-fetched as that sound, I can 100% confirm that she is in fact right. I shared this story a while back on here, but for those of you guys who haven't heard it, I'll give you a quick little rundown. I was working night shift around this time. On this day, I happened to get out of work early, which meant it was about 3 a.m. 3 a.m. was my favorite time to go grocery shopping because I knew there was no one at Walmart. So I pulled up to the Walmart parking lot. There's no other cars there, which was a little odd, but I didn't really think much of it because it was 3 a.m. As I'm making my way out of my car and walking towards the entrance, these 3 ladies just randomly appear out of nowhere. They just started walking in with me. Thought it was a little weird, but at first I'm like, well, maybe they just walked here, or I don't know. When I looked over at these 3 females, they looked as if they had crawled out of a sewer. Like it was something that I had never seen before. But again, wasn't gonna judge. I decided to kind of just go my way and they went their way. As I'm walking in, I noticed there's a person at the cash register, but there's nowhere else. So I'm still making my way towards the back when I noticed that these 3 girls are now following me. At first, I was just like, oh, they must just be going the same way. But there's a creator.
Don't be alarmed. This is just a portal of hell opening up in another Walmart. I'm surprised we're just not seeing the souls being captured.
Well, I hope you enjoyed today's videos. Don't forget to hit the like button, share, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day. Thank you.